Hello and welcome. You are watching the Short Vol Show live on YouTube, coming to you live from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, home of the Pilgrims. My name is David, and we have had a choppy couple days in the VIX. Let's take a look at the chart, as I actually do have my two computer screens back, which is a beautiful thing. That won't keep me from getting in the way of the charts, though. So let's move this down and move this over and do some little adjustments here. So let's see, we make this smaller maybe. And yeah, we've had some choppiness. This is the E-minis over the past, 20 days. Let's just go to a 5-day chart here. And yeah, we see that, trying to break out of this downtrend, but kind of still in a downtrend here. So we'll see what happens from here. But the VIX has been all over the board. We were up and then down, and one day up, the next day down, one day up, the next day down. Now, this is the kind of action that I just loved when we were UVXY was 2 times leveraged, and I would love more in TVIX to the short side, because you're going to get maximum drift from in a leveraged ETF when you have one day up. Then they've got to rebalance buying futures. The next day down, they've got to rebalance selling futures, and it adds that extra level of decay. Now, with UVXY only being a 1.5 times leverage, the effect is smaller, but it's still there, and this is going to cause these things to decay all that much more. When we look at the term structure now, we have come out of expiration. So post expiration, there's not as much contango as there was coming into, say, Tuesday morning, but we're still at a respectable 3% right now. And things are stretching out. As spot moves a little bit lower here, you get the whole term structure stretches out a little bit. It looks more like that now, but it's getting more and more stretched out. Remember, each day, if we've got 3% contango, that means that as we rebalance, the average short price that we have, if we're shorting this in the futures, is moving up, and that gives more and more space for the futures to fall towards spot over time. So every day we rebalance in contango, we are creating more potential for decay in UVXY, VXX, TVIX. And we see contango building here. Like I said, it was up to like 8% before expiration, but it, things settling down a little bit here. We should see that climb again shortly. The market E-minis were up 20, and it kind of faded all the way to unched, and then it kind of bounced after that recently. So if we look, let's go to the market real quick here. And I'm still learning how to use a computer, apparently. So E-mini's up 11 now. Like I said, it was almost to unched. It might have gotten through unched at one point today. And then we had a bounce, and now we're back up almost 12 handles on the E-minis. NASDAQ currently up 22. And yes, we did get the resignation of Theresa May. You got to give her credit for trying to get this Brexit deal done each way, every which way. And it's just been a real struggle for her. And that is too bad that she hasn't been able to completely accomplish it. Yes, and this doctored video thing with Nancy Pelosi, it's more just sort of noise to me. Let's see. French director trolls cons with 3.5-hour pornographic provocation. Let's see what that says. Just when you think you've seen it all, before director Abdellah Kerench goes and drops something as toxically indulgent as Mektub My Love Intermezzo, a 3.5-hour provocation, which will now be the blue is the warmest color director which will now make the blue is the warmest color director the most talked about man on the Quaset once again, and not in a good way. Instead of growing the slightly narrative seeds he planted from Canto Uno, which followed a tight circle of Franco-Algerian young adults over the course of the summer of 1994, here Kashish simply wants to embed you with them over the course of one long late summer night. So, drama at the Cannes Film Festival. Facebook plans cryptocurrency. So, not a whole heck of a lot going on in the news today. I've been working side jobs for like all week, and literally like this is the third week in a row that I've been working like 80 hours a week on like punched in jobs, doing catering stuff and gas station job, and it's just been a lot of work. This is the most time I've had off, which is the morning of today I had off, and I was able to fill it with a nice YouTube interview. So, but in the meantime, I have maintained my short position in UVXY, and things have moved sideways pretty much. I mean, let's take a look at the chart in UVXY here. I'll get out of the way. It's just kind of all over the board. However, what I did do is I rolled my June position out to July, and although there hasn't been a whole lot of liquidity in UVXY options, doing a straight up roll of a position, I was able to get decent prices to roll my position out to July, seeing as I was down to only 25 days till let's see, is this not right? I think it's like 29 days to expiration. I rolled it out to like 54 days to expiration for roll down a strike and out my short. So that gives me more time for this to move lower. And like I said, UVXY has just been kind of going sideways here. But the price action combined with contango, which I do believe will build to over 5% soon, this up and down choppy price action in the end should result in this thing going lower. We'll have to wait and see what happens to volatility, though. Right now, VIX are right around 16. If the volatility show, which is on right now, I predicted 16 last week, so I'm right on target to win this week if we stay around this level. So that is indeed exciting. I know my buddy Andrew G's in town, and I'm going to see if I can get an interview going with him this weekend if we find time for it. I hope everybody's doing okay. It has been a very tradable market for UVXY, with volatility bouncing all over the place. And if you picked your points, you could make money to the long side and to the short side, whichever your preference is. The key, though, is to get in and get out, because if you wait a day, the whole situation can change again. Some of the names I've been watching have been Carvana, which has gotten hit pretty good. W, which has gotten hit pretty good. Let's look at Carvana here. I was thinking about maybe buying a little bit of this, but I'm glad I laid off because it's really gotten kind of hit in the last couple weeks. Let's back it up. It's really hard to value this company because it's a growing company. It hasn't, I think it's not profitable right now, I believe. And so it's like, it got all the way, it came all the way from like, low 30s all the way up to 76, and now it's gotten chopped up a bit, but very hard to tell what's going on. Once again, just sort of a tradable issue. ACB, which I like to follow, has been moving lower. I'd like to pick my points to actually buy. I think it's a good company, but I like to pick up, I like them to have a discount sale on it for me to get in. If we look at ACB over a period of time, you can see it came from the 5s all the way up to 12. Then it came back down to the 5s all the way up to 10 and change. Now at 833. I'd love to buy some around the 7 range. I don't know if it'll get that low or not, but we'll just have to keep watching that one. Quick look at some other MJ names. We've got CGC, which kind of in a midpoint. Tilray around 44. And look at Tesla. I mean, this thing has just taken it on the chin big time here, folks. I don't for a second think it's the end of the world for Tesla. I think this thing will come back at some point, but you know, some people have taken some huge, to excuse my French, pipe on this Tesla thing. I can guarantee to you that people have not fared well here. I think a lot of people have tried to scoop this on the way down, and it has just gotten pummeled. Now, this is a monster stock. I can't say that too many times. It's just a monster trading stock, and so you never know what's going to happen with it. It could go straight down from here, or it could go higher. I'm not going to even predict, but you know, if it does go down enough, it's obviously going to be a scoop somewhere. It could launch right off of here and go straight up again. Who really knows? It was in that band between 250 and like 380, broke out of the band, and it was really just ripped to the downside here. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's getting to a point where I think I want to sell some out of the money puts here, because I think we will get a bounce at some point, but very hard to tell with that monster Tesla. I'm certainly not brave enough to try to tame the beast on that one. Some of these other issues that I was following, NEO just continued to get pounded. I guess all these these electric car companies pounded. Let's take a look at Candy here for a second. KNDI holding up okay right around the 5 level. But I mean, geez, this Tesla, that is just blood in the water for people. I hope my buddy who sells puts is okay in that one. It's just gotten destroyed. And we'll have to see where it goes from here. You know, this has been one of the darlings of the market, and the company, when it was not making money, people were still buying it. It's very hard to value, but just gotten its, you know, take your ball and go home Tesla lately. I mean, I remember I was selling premium with it just bouncing around 350, and it just seemed to stay. It seemed to come back to 350 over and over again. Well, guess what? One day it just didn't come back. And wow, just the pounding it has gotten unbelievable. All right, so we'll see what happens moving forward with this market. People, you know, they're saying, well, the bull market is going to come to an end just because we're high up here, but who knows what will happen? I certainly don't. In the meantime, I am still short volatility, hanging in there. I've got, you know, I'm just around 2 months out, so there's time for a spike and to come back for me. Just kind of playing that we will stay in contango moving forward here in UVXY. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everyone's comments. I've gotten new people coming in through StockTwits and through other means, so thanks to all the new subscribers. Leave a comment about if you want specific things you want to hear about. I am trying to talk more and more about where to put stuff long term. You know, is buy and hold dead? Does it still make sense to just be having these passive investments in index funds and whatnot? Well, it certainly has worked in the past, folks. But is it time to put some money on the sidelines? For me, I believe we're still going to move higher from here. So I'm a long the market guy. So we'll have to see what happens. But UVXY, nice little down move today. My position would be fit if this thing would just move and take out the all-time lows again. All-time lows, let's remember, are somewhere around $30. Let's take a look at the chart. 30.38 was the all-time low. You can see it here. We aren't that far off of there. This huge spike you can see at the beginning of the year, and kind of down from there. If we look a little bit closer, that's a little too close. Let's go to 20 days. That kind of sums up the price action. We've had a spike and then come off it, another little mini spike and another little mini spike, which are sort of coming off now. And we'll see if volatility, if the VIX stays where it is, right around 16. You know, people saying 15 is the new 12, 16 is the new 12. Will that be true as we come through the summer, or will we fade off towards the 13s again? My inclination is that we will sort of fade lower, but we will have to wait and see if there are more spikes in our future before that time does come. Thanks for watching, folks, and this is just a quick update for you, but I think I will start having more time coming into next week and stuff as my job situation loosens up a little bit. You know, I do work in a resort area, and so you get these little, this is what we call the shoulders of the season, where like we've got business, but the summer people haven't totally come in yet, and that's when we get, you know, a lot of hours where you kind of have to take up the slack, and so I go and I work for that time period, so that's why I haven't been around so much. So I appreciate your patience for those of you on Patreon that I haven't put out all that much stuff recently. Like I said, I do have an interview in the hopper, which I just recorded a few minutes ago, and more content to come. I'm excited to grow this channel. Please stick with me. Please tell a friend, and let's grow together. I would be nowhere without my viewers, so thank you so much. My camera guy is eager to shoot more videos, so we will be doing that very shortly. You know, a little cash infusion from the summer jobs, as I, you know, like to keep any trading profits recycled back into the portfolio. I rely on you folks to help me to grow this channel. So please consider giving $1 on Patreon. Even if we just sign you up for $1 a month, that lets me know that you're out there and that you value quality content from an individual, independent from the you know, the big businesses and whatnot. If you have a specific options question that you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment below, and I can give you some more specifics on options theory. I guess next time I will go through what options trades I have on and some options trading ideas for you. So stay tuned for that. We'll have another video coming up in the next day or two. Thanks for watching. Please check out my appearance on Volatility Views last week. And like I said, I'm lining up to win the contest if the VIX stays around here for another 20 minutes. So let's go. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.